we have Sister Su Ching and Sister Moon, who will be holding this session, interactive EG Tell Story, and followed by Brother Paulu and Sister Lisan, who will be sharing on surfing in the chaotic world with Dharma. Okay, before that, let us invite Sister Su Ching, who will be sharing with us the weekly summary. Ka'an, over to you, Sister Su Ching.
Good morning. I sound like a frog this morning, and So last week was Sister Yvonne. Last week, Sister Yvonne and Sister Moon had an interactive session about the appearance of the never-slighting Bodhisattva in the age of resemblance. Never-slighting Bodhisattva was respected and gave praises to the bhikkhus, bhikkhunis, apsakas, and upasikas easily. He performs prayers and prostration and doesn't just chant and recite the sutra only. Notwithstanding, the bhikkhus, bhikkhunis, upsakas, and upasikas viewed him with suspicion and anger. Instead of retaliating, he would respond with praises and kindness laced with candor. He would say, "You will become Buddha," to those who berate him. He would remain calm and respectful even if he received criticisms that are rude and grim. Master explained the qualities of never-slighting Bodhisattva is to only see the good in all. Indeed, treating every being with equanimity is the only proper protocol. The Dharma Sutra says that this can only be achieved with supreme wisdom received. The Dharma door of the teachings on the manifest are filled with Buddha's analogies. The Buddha Dharma of the intrinsic will guide us back to our true Buddha nature. In the Sutra of Infinite Meanings, this method is called the Bodhisattva path, and that is our greatest treasure. That's all from me today. I will pass back to Sister Su Ching right now to commence the next session. Thanks so much.
And our Sister Lily for the wonderful start, and Sister Su Ching. Very grateful to Sister because actually Sister Su Ching is not feeling well. This Sister Su Ching still make it. I was thinking maybe Sister Su Ching cannot. I think okay, Sister Su Ching, all the best. Good morning, Master. Good morning, brothers and sisters. And everyone for waking up so early and session. Okay, let us start today's session. The first talk for today. We are very grateful actually for this chance to tell story. In fact, we have so many wonderful stories to share. Very grateful to the translation team that did an awesome job. Okay, today the topic that we are sharing is from Brother David Liu's episode 90 on 13 February 2022. Everyone can hear, huh? That is on finding multiple silver linings out of the cloud. Okay. All right, the topic, in fact, this topic, if it's in Chinese, is a full sentence from one of the Chinese idiom, which is saying that when there seems to be no way out, one finds a silver lining out of the cloud. It originates from a poem in the Song dynasty. It describes a scene where one rides on a boat on a winding and on this precarious river filled with fog at sight initially. So it was very misty, can't really see. The moment was desperate and critical because one cannot see where one is going and it is difficult to progress ahead. But at the end, unexpectedly, the fogs clear out. One is able to have a clear sight and find its way out of the woods. So it is to advise us whenever we encounter difficulty, do not give up so fast. For every adversity, there is a hidden silver lining which leads to unlimited hopes. As long as we persevere with an open mind and creativity, we will be able to find a way out. There's always an exit. In fact, there are multiple exits, not just one. It is unavoidable that every one of us encounters such moments of desperation in our life. Like Master said, 8 out of 9, 8 and 9 out of 10 events, we will have encountered these things that we feel is adverse to us. So it happens not only in family, but also in organization, association, even in the country. So why do we need to have that's why we need to have this risk management and prevention. However, there is an even more important step before we carry out risk management and prevention. That is the management of our mind. If we can't even manage our mind, how can we manage our thoughts, emotions, perceptions, and attitude? To overcome difficulty, we must first build the right mindset. For the mind is the master, whereas external conditions is the slave. To be able to find out the way out, eventually we must nurture a clear mind. If we allow these emotions to be swayed by external condition, then we are allowing our mind to be the slave of others. This is the distorted way of living. Use a grateful heart to accept the adversities, then create wisdom out of it by turning it into body wisdom. That's what our master is doing. Similarly, since life is suffering, don't reject them. Learn to accept suffering willingly without giving rise to afflicted reactions. Treat sufferings as our teachers. Only then we can alternate ways out. Sometimes we feel that we are in great difficulties at the bottleneck situation in life, whereas there's no way out. Actually, the bottleneck is only the appearance only, at the appearance level. The true bottleneck formed much earlier, which we were not aware of. And what is the true bottleneck? Our mindset. It means we are stuck with our own perception, view, or thinking. We refuse to jump out of the box. We choose to confine ourselves in our own perspective. So the bottleneck of our mind is the cause, whereas the difficulty is the effect. So long as we don't address this problem from its root cause, which is to transform our mindset, we will not be able to come out of this issue. Some people say it's like our test. If we don't pass the test this time, that is our wrong perception, and then we will keep encountering these exam questions until we pass the exam. Every morning, we wish to go to work happily and return home safely. That's our aim. That's how we want to live life at ease, right? But many of us are not aware. There are some depressed and moody. Why? Not because they encounter some tragic incidents, but because of their inability to handle their emotions and thoughts. Some people tend to easily exaggerate trivial, small little matters into great suffering. All these unnecessary afflictions that comes from this mind. Okay, let us share a few stories. This is all from Brother David's talk. The first story is about a Singaporean entrepreneur who was very busy at work. He seldom joins city activities because so busy with the activities, his personal activities. But he runs a 5-star golf course hotel. One day when he joined a city meeting, he looked very moody and complained that he encountered multiple unlucky incidents for a few days in a row. Nothing went his way. First, he cut his finger, then he stumped his feet, and worse, he met with a minor car accident. But what takes the cake has yet to come. One day, worst of all, he fell into the drain at his very own golf course while he was jogging. So he complained continuously, was very down and upset about his bad luck. That's the time when Brother David talked to him. Brother David told him that you are adding negative comments to your bad encounters. This does not help you in any way. You are only magnifying your afflictions. You should give rise to right mindfulness. Accept the bad encounters with a grateful and joyful heart. Then this entrepreneur asked Brother David how to be positive and grateful in all these continuous bad, unfortunate events. Brother David replied to him, not only should you be grateful, you should accept it joyfully, then only you can eliminate your karma. Don't keep complaining and be grumpy. The entrepreneur asked how to give rise to right mindfulness. Brother David said, honestly, you should feel lucky about what you encounter. Actually, your original life script was such that you were supposed to fall into the sea. But since you did charitable work over the past 5 years and accumulated blessings, your life script was changed to falling into the drain only. Shouldn't you be grateful about this? This is turning your heavy retribution into a lighter one. His facial expression immediately changed to become very joyful, like a light bulb went on in his head. Therefore, all affinities are good affinities. If you believe it as a blessing, it will be a blessing. It's all on one single thought. Yeah, Sister Moon.
Yes, this is Su Ching. I was just thinking this story is a very great story, but that thing moment, when a friend tells you how to look at your problem, isn't it? Yeah, because we are so mired in in looking at it from our point of view. I think it's just like in this pandemic. I remember at the beginning of the pandemic, the government gave us so many SOPs because basically we didn't know what to do, right? So some higher authority actually happened. Let's say what to do when you get COVID, what to do when your family gets COVID. And that was a Delta strain, right? And all these very I see was so difficult situations where families were losing members, and when it happens to the time when you lose a family member, the period was so short. Like when they send to the hospital, within 2 days they pass away. They never even get to see them. They're not allowed to see them. All these are so traumatic things. It is very difficult, actually, I think, to expect that we will be able to have a calm mindset and to look at all these and say, oh, stand back. Because you don't have time to stand back, isn't it? Because things happen so fast and then you react. And most of the time, I think we panic. I remember, the factory, office, so many SOPs, they change week to week. The government will tell you this week we do this. No, next week we have to do this, and so on. We could hardly have time to follow what is the next new SOP. And you say, okay, my mind, I say, I prepare. Risk management, am I right? Okay, this is what we do, guys. If this fellow get COVID, we do step 1, 2, 3. But actually, you find that when it happened, somehow everybody still panic, like, what's the first step to do now, even though you have been given the SOP. So it really makes me think that there is no such thing as remaining able to remain calm on the dot, on call, if you haven't practiced. I mean, with anything, right? Like with anything, if you haven't been practicing when you need it, when you are at a moment's notice, when they need to call on your that strength, you don't have it. So that is why, when I joined Tzu, and then I realized that, you really have to think, you have to cultivate, and we have to contemplate. I mean, thinking is a layman's term, but you have to contemplate how to keep a calm mind and how to keep our perspective in the right direction, so that when we are needed, when at the moment's notice, in a difficult situation, you're not given time to think, but it comes naturally to you because it is already inside you, right? So you can call it up. And of course, the importance of really, in this pandemic, the importance of having what Master keeps saying, affinity with people. You make friends, you make good relationships with people. Because when you panic, they tell you what to do because they are calm. And they say, okay, what's happening now? Okay, you do this, you take the vitamin C, 2 times a day, because you will forget that I have to take vitamin C because, you're so panicky. And they are so precious, when the friends come and tell you, this is what you should do now. Okay, have you done this? Sometimes I never even ask. We just say, oh gosh, we have this situation. And they will tell you, have you done this? Have you done that? It is so, so comforting, and it is so valuable for me. So it is not just one calm mind. Imagine you have 20 calm minds getting together, looking at a situation and helping you through it. So I think that this mind thing is so important, and it doesn't come when you call if you have not taken the trouble to think and and practice all the time, every minute of the day, because it's not just the pandemic. It can be, like you say, so many other situations that will need this kind of quick decision and good decisions in the right direction. So it makes me think that, we have to contemplate and cultivate continuously, and don't, sometimes like you slack and say, wait lah, I'm tired lah, tomorrow lah, the next day lah, I cannot wake up lah, So to be on tiptoes all the time, I feel that now, it's so important.
Wow.
And I don't know, but there is like this topic on the silver lining, right? So you have the mindset. If you cultivate continuously, you have the mindset, the right mindset, and then you know where to look for the silver lining. The stories that Brother David is giving is so magnificent, actually, to demonstrate, how and where to look for the silver lining. I don't know. I just want to ask the sisters and brothers here, what was the silver lining you found during that pandemic? And I'm not talking about the pandemic now, but the worst time was, like when it started, during the tough Delta variant period. I don't know, maybe some of you can share with us what were some of the silver lining that you found in that very dark cloud, For me, one of the very good thing that I discovered was that I had too many things. So you have time at home, and I had too many things. My life was too complicated. I spent too much time looking for things. Everything I need. And then during the pandemic, I find that really, I need 20% of what I have. So I start to declutter. And when I declutter my house, I get to declutter my mind. That's what I feel, And so I now I don't need so many things. I don't even look at things when I go shopping. My God, this is a real achievement for me, I'm totally fine. I pass a shop and I don't look at it if I don't need something from that shop. This was a big difference from pre days, when everything I must see, and I think maybe, this shop I may need something, and then you collect everything, and the maids, they get so upset because every time ma'am comes back, they have to put away so many things, and then she don't use it, you see. So I find that my silver lining was knowing how to look at things, how to simplify things, in my life, and that life can go on in a very simple way and still be very functional and very happy, and it makes me feel light, actually, not so burdened, I feel very light because I don't have so many things to think about. I don't have so many things to distract me. I don't know, can some brothers and sisters share what was your silver lining, during that period?
Okay, maybe
Sister Kaping, do you collect things?
It's not so much of, what you said was true. I think, during that period, I ended up with only, 5 sets of clothes that I keep using, week after week. But I think more importantly, what actually came out and gave me a lot of hope was unity, togetherness, that, because when we were fundraising to buy medical equipment, it was a big amount. And I worry, right? Because I'm in the fundraising committee, such a huge amount, where to find money. But at the end, the interfaith group came in strong to work together, to support City and back our effort. So that actually, to me, that was the greatest silver lining at that moment, where, previously it was like people working exclusively, but eventually everybody can come together with the same cause, with the same mind, with one voice, to work together, very inclusive. And that really got us to raise so much money, 35 million, in a short 3-month span. So that kind of unity, really gave me a lot of hope. And I know that, we Malaysians, wherever we are in the world, we can come together when, the time requires us to do that. Yeah, thanks.
Yeah, that's right. I think that this so at the end of the day, it's the unity thing, right? And we united. Actually, I like it also very much, because when we couldn't go out and we had to buy things online, and there was always this, and there was a lot of call for buying, helping local farmers, small businesses. This lady, she's making things to support her family, and we buy, because we want to support them, we want to help each other. I think that is a really good thing that comes out of it. Sister Sharon, I see you're here. Sister Sharon from Sydney.
Hello.
Do you what kind of silver lining you guys look at found maybe in the Australia side?
For us, it's like during the lockdown. Yeah, for my own self, I think like sister said, starting to decluttering the mind, because usually I'm a very busy bee person. I go out a lot and do things a lot, always rushing here and there, but never sit back and really have a calm mind to start to think more about how I should do things, and what's life about, and that sort of thing. So during the lockdown, I have all the time in the world. So I wake up, and so first of all, I thought like, oh, what am I going to do this morning? I'm not going anywhere. So I actually ended up starting to read more and attend more classes, and learn much more Dharma during this lockdown, and actually helps me a lot, calming my own self. And also to me, it's like how do I put it? I learn more from all brothers sisters, connecting with everyone from all around the world. Something that I probably would have just, if it's just in Australia, I only do things with local brothers and sisters. But having the opportunity to join classes with everyone and sharing ideas, thoughts, and sharing like now and all that, is actually really, really helpful for myself. I learn more, I hear more, and I think I improve more as well. That's what I think. I feel like I'm more at peace in my heart, and I can see things better. I don't miss things as much. Like last time when I see things, it's very fast. I just digest it. Oh, this is what I should do and all that. But now actually can sit back and then think it through and all that. Really, really helps. And I'm trying to practice it like that, keep it like that. Think more before I do. I'm not sure.
Yeah. Yeah. So that's why, Sister Sharon, it has put you in a very good position now, actually, to lead those of your colleagues and your sisters and brothers there. I admire a lot your efforts there and what you do. I mean, I should be inspired by you every time you share on these things. Yeah. One of these days, one of these days we hope we will meet, when I go find myself in Australia.
Yeah. Like now, I just also appreciate family more. Because during the lockdown, my home brother Robert, and he's stuck in Swaziland for the last 2 years. So I really appreciate able to just I don't know how to say, not seeing him for 2 years. I really appreciate that now. So I think, what should I do, and replan everything. At the moment, I'm actually in Swaziland. I'm not in Australia. I'm in Africa. So I joined him. So I probably, if it's probably not because of the lockdown, I probably wouldn't think that I'll come to Africa. But now I think that I want to spend more time with him. I think this is really important, and I think I can do more as well because there's a G here in Africa as well. So, so I kind of have more time to plan and think through things, and I want to seize the opportunity and seize the time. You never know what happened next. It's just like the pandemic is a wake up call for me, and now, so that's why I want to come here and be with him.
Yeah, this bonding thing. I mean, the opportunity to bond is one of the biggest and best things I feel that's come out of the pandemic. We never spend so much time together as a family, or as family members. Yeah, I find that this bonding is so wonderful, and it changes, I think, all of our perception on how to look at our family, and not just hi and bye. Most of us, isn't it? I'm guilty of that. When I was young, I'm just a hi and bye mom.
Not to take things for granted. You're absolutely right. And having all the children at home, that's when I actually realized that we shouldn't take things for granted, because you never know what happened next. You don't know tomorrow. Life is impermanent. All that comes in during the pandemic, the lockdown, when you see people actually die. It's like, I'm sure everyone would know someone who passed away because of the COVID and all that. So that is also the wake up call as well. There's so many wake up call this pandemic gave me. Let me think through things more, rather than just let every day pass by just like that. So I want to have meaningful days every day.
Yeah, correct. I don't know, but I see a brother or sister Tan from USA here. Can you join us? Let us know whether the silver lining is the same over in your side. Joshua Tan.
Brother Joshua.
Are you on? Yeah, Brother Joshua, yeah.
Yeah.
Are you with us?
Yeah. Sorry, I just heard my name. I was so surprised.
No, I was just wondering whether you have the same you find the same silver lining during those days.
Because like US, we used to be the epicenter of COVID-19 in the whole world.
Yeah.
Like we have the most number of cases and most number of deaths, and then so it was like very scary at that time. But because of master's teaching, and I have been learning more about master's teaching through morning Dharma study in my community, and also joining like Sare Hualien Dharma talk like this one, joining the Cantonese Dharma in Cantonese, joining Kaohsiung book study as interpreter, all these things. And then like what Sister Sharon said, I get to build more affinity with brothers and sisters from all over the world, rather than just building affinities with my own USA community here. But now I build more affinity with everyone, like in Malaysia, in Australia, in Taiwan, like in Hong Kong, like everywhere. And so I think this is the silver lining to it. Like even though there are some aspects of the life that was disrupted, but at least I get more Dharma wisdom, and through these online activities. That's why I really appreciate being here every single time, and I appreciate all the time we spend together online. And then everyone here is very diligent, and then I think we all need to learn from you guys, like especially like US volunteers also need to learn from all of you in Malaysia or anywhere else. And I'm very, very grateful to be here.
Yeah,
thank
all right. All right. Yeah. So actually, there's a common thread I see, right? In finding our silver lining. Yeah. All the things that we have discussed just now, and there is also not just bonding with family members. I find that when we Zoom a lot with our sisters and brothers in Tzu Chi, there is a lot of bonding between the brothers and sisters here as well, right? And that is actually very, very comforting. Yeah. All right. I've disturbed your storytelling.
Oh, really? This is so wonderful. I'm very grateful. I learned a lot from all the wonderful exemplary volunteers all over the world. Those few volunteers are truly exemplary. Brother Joshua is very humble. In fact, he's one of our role model.
Yeah.
Patient also.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
If okay, Sister Moon, I move on to the next story.
Yeah.
This is a short one. Okay, guys. The next story about this old man. One old man was walking along the street and he was knocked off by a young cyclist, bicycle rider. The old man burst out in anger and scolded this man with a lot of cursing him with a lot of bad words. So the young man told him, "Uncle, you should be grateful that I knocked you down with just my bicycle. Otherwise, normally I will ride. I have a truck. Imagine if the truck that he's taking hit this uncle." So that's the next story about turning this mind. The third story I have, Brother David said that he has two friends who are Taiwanese business partners. They run a big furniture export business. Looking at how the business is going well, the major shareholders intends to buy off the remaining shares from the other minority shareholder. He wants to earn all the profits by himself. The minor shareholder thinks that the price offered to buy his shares was too low. So these minor shareholders told Brother David about it. Brother David said, "Both of you are good friends before. Don't fight over money. Although the price may not be that high, you still earn a decent sum of money too. With this money, you don't have to worry about the business anymore and you can retire earlier and be happy about it. So take a step back and you will see the vast sky. Fight over ego and you will be in trouble. Be satisfied and live in contentment." Eventually, these minority shareholders listens to Brother David's advice and sold all his shares to the other partners. At that time, the United States economic recession occurred in 2008 and the order from Australia reduced significantly. So many factories were either closed or went bankrupt. This minority shareholder survived the tragedy because he was separated from the partnership. He sold off his remaining shares. He's now enjoying his life in Taiwan, whereas the major shareholders, now he's the only shareholders, was tied up with the severe financial crisis. So long we haven't reached the end of the story, we cannot conclude whether the selling of shares is a blessing or otherwise. Therefore, Master always says, the bigger the business is, the bigger the karma created. This is akin to Brother David's business last time in Malaysia. He went to work in his clothes factories. To him, it's like feeling of entering hell daily. So entrepreneurs making money should uphold an impermanent mindset, whereas entrepreneurs losing money should uphold the law of cause and effect mindset. There's no way out because God's always live and exist for everyone. The problem lies in you being obsessed with what you perceive as the only solution. If only you are detached from your own view or opinion, then you will find that there are many other alternate ways. Our fate depends on the mindset we harbor. Transforming our thoughts can transform our fate. All these are from Brother David. The next one, the fourth story, last time Brother David, when he was in Singapore, a senior volunteer bought a new car. This volunteer was very troubled because the car plate number is 4453, which symbolizes inauspiciousness in Cantonese pronunciation. But Brother David told him that he didn't think it's that way though. Brother David pronounced it in Mandarin. Everything will flow your way smooth and sound. After 10 years of driving the car, everything was fine and everyone was safe, and the volunteer used it to even fetch the bodhisattva for city activity. So Brother David said, you see, all is just from this one thought. The next story on this Plato and Socrates, this philosopher, the great philosopher. Plato asked Socrates, What is love? Socrates told his student to pick an apple from the garden, but with the conditions that he can only pick one time and can only walk forward, cannot turn around and cannot walk back. The student went in and saw the apples alongside the row of apple trees. He saw one after another, and one looked bigger and nicer than the other. He marched forward in hopes of picking up the biggest and best one. But he reached at the end. None of the apples were as good as compared to the earlier ones. So he came out of the garden empty-handedly. Socrates said, "This is love." One always thought that there are better ones ahead and gave up the current ones to pursue further. In the end, one ends up getting nothing. The moral of this story is there is no perfect lover on earth. The next one is not necessarily better. Thus, choose who you love and love whom you choose. No regrets, no complaints. One day, Plato asked Socrates, "What is marriage?" Socrates told his students to chop a tree with the biggest trunk, but with the conditions that he can only chop one tree and can only walk forward, no turning back. The student did so and brought back a typical tree trunk, which is not very big, not very small. The student said, "I learned from the previous lesson, as long as I see one that looks good, though it is not the biggest, I chop it down immediately so that I won't miss it out anymore." Socrates said, "This is marriage. No matter who and how many candidates you pick and choose, it can't beat this 3 lifetime marriage affinity. Therefore, if you married a man or the other way around, a woman, it is rare affinity to be a couple. Recognize this affinity, these 3 things are cherish this affinity and nurture it." So another day, Plato asked Socrates again, "What is bliss?" Same principle, Socrates asked his student to go and pluck the most beautiful flowers with the conditions that he can only pluck one time and walk ahead, no turning backward. After a short while, Plato plucked up a flower and handed it to Socrates. Socrates asked him if this is the most beautiful flower in the garden. Plato said he believed it to be the most beautiful flower, and without hesitation, he plucked it out. Even though he saw many more beautiful flowers on his way out of the garden, but Plato insisted with faith that this flower that he had plucked is the most beautiful. He never wavered in his faith. Now, how do we relate these stories from Socrates to our topic today? Socrates taught the right value of life to Plato, his student. Whether one is in the cloud or found the silver lining, it is not related to anything else but our own mind. How we perceive a matter determines our success in life. If we are stuck or attached with our own thoughts, we will likely see things as no way out. But if we can break through our own perception, then we can have multiple ways out, and the path ahead of us, it will be broad, smooth, and unhindered. No way out or multiple way out depends on just our mind. That's why Master Chen Yan keeps saying, be mindful at all times.
Yeah. I find this subject on bliss is so, how do I say, awesome actually, because, to see everything as the best and the most beautiful, whatever it is that is you already have, rather than to, all of us, right? You want to seek, we continuously want to seek the best, the most beautiful, and we never find it. Let's put it this way. It is not just marriage or boyfriend, girlfriend, husband, wife. I think it's everything, business. Well, at this age, at my age, I realized that no point chasing these things, and to make the best, and to make the best is one thing, I think, but to see the best in what you have, that is really something very awesome. And that is something really wonderful, because if you can do that, really, you will be happy. Yeah. It's just like sometimes my children complain, oh, why dad like this one, like that and like this. I also complain back, yeah, he's like this, why he's like this and like that. But I will tell them, but he has so many other good points. Why don't we look at some of those good points? Because if we look at those good points, then all the bad things diminish. Yes, and then we are happy. Yeah, because basically, like for example, I always tell the young lady, I said, if you're looking for a husband, find out whether the young man likes kids. Because men who like kids cannot be that bad. That's my opinion, because it means that they have something in them that is nurturing, Yeah. So if you find that he's a nice boy and he a small little test here and there, and then he's the best. And then you look at the best in him and make it a success. Why can't he be like me? I mean, why can't he be like me? I find that if the husband and the wife is the same, it doesn't work. So one is active, one is not so active. And I have a cousin who is so active. And she had to give up her marriage because the husband was so inactive. She couldn't see beyond the fact that they can complement each other. That he will take up what she won't do, right? So it's very sad, but up till now, which is like they have been apart for 20 years, she still loves him, I mean, like, it's incredible, but they are divorced. But she, deep inside, she still loved him. So you see, she couldn't see it at that point of time. Yeah. Otherwise, it would be, I mean, how can you be so blissful at one moment and then we are not so blissful after that, isn't it? So yeah, the ability to see all this is a very difficult. I think it's very difficult. And that if nobody comes and talk to us and tell us, these are the things, it's very, very, very important. Yes, Sister Stephanie.
Yes, Sister Moon.
Yes.
Sister Moon, and I want enjoying the moon moments today. Okay, and a very good morning to all the brothers and sisters who has joined us globally. This actually, thank you so much, Sister Su Ching, for bringing out this wonderful sharing from Brother Liu's session. Actually, this one, right, actually reminds me of Master Chen Yan's one Jingse aphorism that really resonated with me in the process of bringing up my children. Is when although there's a cheap cup, right? If we look at it from another angle, right, the cup is actually perfectly fine, and it does its purpose. It holds the water. It lets you drink. You just have to turn it around a bit, right, and look at the whole rather than the chip. Yeah. So I think this is a wonderful reminder for me today's session, and also the Master's Jingse aphorism that came to my mind. Just want to share. Thanks so much.
Yeah, Sister Stephanie, I think you are very good at looking at things in the right way. I can see that. So thank you so much for sharing this with us. I think, Sister Su Ching, we have to give over the time to
10 minutes. We have up to 7:20.
Oh, up to 7:20.
Yeah.
Up to 7:20. Well, I was wondering whether, every time Brother Robert asks us things, maybe we can ask Brother Robert some things this time. No, Brother Robert?
Yes, our wise grandmama, Sister Moon, yeah, nice to hear your voice. So I think when Sister Kaping told us that you were having some challenges with your health at one time,
That's right.
Now after hearing your wonderful voice and your great wisdom, how to guide all these young people to go into their future, looking into their it's really so calming what you said just now, you mentioned what question you want to ask me,
I said, how do you find bliss?
Bliss, I think the word I always want to use is gratefulness, I think always as long as we I think this word grateful, I think before joining Su Ching, we take things for granted. I always feel we even though we have our family, our siblings, or our parents, our wife or husband and whatnot, even food on the table, we take a lot of things for granted, and especially, in fact, even I think just now, I think when you were sharing about all this pandemic, so we also take health for granted, So I think Master brought us down to the lowest level and brought all this calmness into us, and stay firm, and really recall back I think through this pandemic, from this pandemic, we also learn. Master always remind us, it's a great lesson for humanity. I think it's a great lesson for everyone, whether we are having COVID or we're not having COVID, whether we are working or whether we are running our own business. I think it brought a lot of challenges. But through all these challenges, I think we should learn from all this. We shouldn't just feel that this thing is bad. This thing, I think we must have this positive mindset. I think this from this pandemic. In fact, I also got to learn all this. Managed to come into this Xin Fa Xiang. Last time I think never crossed my mind that I'll be able to join this daily Xin Fa Xiang. It's because last time, of course, everyone knows that we need to go to Jing Si Tang. We need to make the effort there. So to me, I've gone there. I've been there to Jing Si Tang, I think twice Then I just give up But I think being able to have all this technology to connect all of us and with Master's teachings keep on flowing through, we are able to have a little bit of awakening, a little bit of understanding, and especially from all this inspiring sharing from all our wonderful brothers and sisters. We are able to have all this like what just now Brother Joshua mentioned. These form these good affinities all over the world through all this technology. Never in our life we thought that we can be connected to Brother Dino in Mozambique, and now that in fact Sister Sharon is in Swaziland. I think Swaziland is just next to Mozambique, isn't it? I think you are so close to Brother Dino now, so I think everything is all connected It's all connected. Last time I only heard about Sister Moon from my home sister when Sister Moon went for commissioning. I think you all were commissioning. My home sister and Sister Moon, you all were commissioned at the same year, isn't it? You all were sharing the same room.
Yes, she was in my group. Yeah.
Yeah, and she always tells me this Sister Moon is like our Guru Besar, always guiding us what to do, teaching us, Always brought a lot of calmness in us when we get a bit too excited, and then Sister Moon will be there to, tell us, So I think all this gratefulness and good affinities brought everyone together,
Yeah,
even though,
that's right.
yeah.
That's right. Correct. So if we look at things like that, Brother Robert, how can we not be blissful, isn't it?
Yes, indeed.
And then after that, for me, I think that if we have found all this, then our next responsibility is to share it with others so that they too can benefit from all these things, which is what is Master teaching all the while. And the basis of Tzu Chi actually is to share this wonderful knowledge and feeling, how to be strong, how to be calm, how to be happy, and to withstand adversities. I know the adversities down there will be so difficult. I don't know, Sister Suisan, Sister Suisan is there, right? You're in the corporate circle. Do you see them all struggling?
Yes. But fortunate part is that, of course, in any situation, there'll always be a positive and negative. So you see that some industry are just so lucky. Yeah, they're just so lucky that
Yes.
in the pandemic, they're doing well. So now there's also a same group of people. I call it accidentally. They call it accidentally. They're making good money from US dollar. I said, wow, they're such a lucky group. I say that I guess it takes a lot of blessings to be able to enjoy this. So on reflection, I just got back from Penang. I said, wow, Penang is really a lucky island, really got a lot of blessings. Pandemic, although they face workers' problem, all the SOPs that were a cost lockdown in operation, but in totality, their demand not affected. And in fact, it's a boom year for them.
Yes.
2020, 2021, a boom year. Okay, moving to 2022, of course, there are another group of course, another set of problems, the inflation, the interest rates, the component shortages, there's workers' problem. Out of nowhere, from April onwards, they become so rich because US dollar strengthened so much. It's not like money dropped from heaven. We call it 无端端发达, okay, find that the demand softer a little bit, but it's not overly soft, but then it's just it's a pause. I would call it a pause. But then they are being buffered by strong US dollar. So this is a very big buffer, in fact. So on the other hand, is that I look at another group, I say, oh my God, already caused by pandemic problem, now got sign of recovery. You face a strong US dollar. Your raw mat is so expensive. Oh no, how to go and cope with this? And it's not easy to pass on this increase in cost. And then you face workers, minimum wage, another set of problems. Really is that, really count. Really, so I always reflect because all this corporate give me a lot of lessons. Since my encounter is with corporates, my group of friends are all corporates.
That's right.
I can't help it, but it's like my field of blessings. It's my pao chang to learn from all of them. So really looking at them, so I said, wow, really cultivating good deeds really is something that we do not know when this will be used, right? Master said it's like a treasury, you just have to, a bank that you have to keep doing. So it's a case in point is that, there's one corporate, he has a piece of land. Actually, this corporate is not bad. I mean, he has money. I mean, he has a strong balance sheet. His bank is full of money. Then he has a piece of land that he actually is when he started, he bought that piece. It's his first factory, for the matter. After that, he moved to a bigger factory. So he says that he has attachment to that piece of land. He said, I think a bit of feng shui, a bit of what, right? That's that his neighbor, because David doesn't want to move to Batu Kawan. Because Batu Kawan there, I got no food and a lot of work. Engineers may not move over to Batu Kawan because it's a bit far, right? He wanted to buy his land. He said, I want to expand, but I don't want to move. I want to buy your piece of land. Of course, the market price, market valuation is only 18 million. 18 million. He's willing to buy it at 38 million. Market value only 18, and in his book, in this person's book, in their book, is only 4 million. Cost is only 4 million. Wow, I tell you, it's like he just get a gain of 30 million out of nowhere. So he said this statement, which I like say, good, everyone, Dharma doesn't only come from sutras, it comes from everyone's how they realize Dharma, Of course, maybe they don't realize Dharma, but to me, because we study, we learn from Master and we know that it is Dharma. So he said one word, never fear. Maybe he said, he got suddenly got this windfall, 30 million windfall. He said, maybe perhaps I've done a lot of good things. I've done a lot of good things. And then God loved me a lot. It just dumped 30 million to me. so it's so to me, wow, he's a very nice guy in Penang. He's a Mr. Nice guy. And everybody knows he's a nice guy. He's not one that he's very kind. He's quite very kind. Of course, his husband, just why you compare to the Mr. Chu Vitrox, or you compare to the others, after so many years, he's still quite small in a way. But then it is, I think, like just like I said, contentment. This is what he like to achieve. But then what he wants that we have to respect his wish, right? His wish for this sort of setup, right? So, but then he's a very kind corporate guy, so he never do harm to others. He's not a very super competitive person that out there to just. So he said, maybe I've done a lot of good things that God suddenly give me such a big bonus, a 30 million bonus for a piece of land that is only, in my books, it's only 4 million, and market value is actually 18 million. But this person willing to pay 38 million for it because he wanted it. I said, so blessing come in so many ways we do not know. From each of them, I always learn A, B, C, D, this person, because we follow them for so many years, maybe some over 20 years, 15, 20 years. So how you see how they transform or how it turned out, really that what this karma, this law of karma, cause and effects, never underestimate. Either it come early or come late, we do not know. So, but most importantly, keeping this integrity. And also, and yesterday I've also heard a very nice news. This company, a little bit bad luck. Everything they do, I saw even no, really saw called. But one thing that a good comment made, he said, this person, even though is in red, actually they're truly in red for a few years, but they shoulder on. One thing good that this comment made by a supplier, he said that they never cut corners. They will insist because they're trained by Germans. So they bought over this company for Germans. So they keep on with this tradition, the culture. They never cut corners. They still give you the best, even though they are thin. So this year, also, again, out of nowhere, because of their skill set, someone will desperately need their service in the we call surface mounting technology. They did it, bingo. They've done it so well. So now the client loves them so much, will be loading them more. I think there is a year of turnaround already. So sometimes it's that you really, and they are very generous, because actually he is the biggest donor for Tzu Chi School, for my group. He donated more than 500,000. I think so, 700,000. I can't. He's one of the top donors. So sometimes I look here, you've done so many good deeds. But a stupid company sucks, really sucks. I say, I don't know where I go wrong. So not to, but this year, if he done it, if he is successful, he could get a big payout by Apple. If he's successful in his lawsuit against Apple, this American Apple, US Apple, not the Pengor. This is the real. This is not the real Pengor fruits. This one is the Apple, our iPhone Apple, because it's that his technology is being copied by Apple. Apple thought that he can escape. So a lawsuit. If it's successful, I think he can get back about $700 US, 700,000, 700 million. 700. Let me think. 724. About 700. This one also calculate a bit. About 700 million from Apple if he is successful. Of course, they will negotiate. I think they will settle off outside the court. So these are in the pipeline, of course. So his case is another reflection. Every company, I will do my own reflection and how each corporate acts and how you know, whether they keep to their principles or they deviate because they had to fight for their bottom line, right? Some keep, it's also a nice review being made by supplier by not cutting corners and endure the pain. Now he got a very good contract. So this contract will be very good for them. So everyone I can learn from, you know, not to me, not necessarily I have to learn from sutras, you know. I learn from learning from master. I observe, I learn, and I keep it in my heart that how each corporate acts. Of course, some corporate act like nonsense. We just then we also see. You got a lot of mouth karma. Put you back so fast. Another good example. So hopefully that normally for me is that when I learn all this, I will pass on to another corporate. This story of this corporate, how they act. So it's a reminder to this corporate why.
Sister Susan, so much wonderful story. We'll definitely have another session for this. Very grateful. Okay,感恩 Sister Susan, 感恩 Sister Moon, and all the wonderful sharings my brothers and sisters. Indeed, time is always not enough. 感恩. We are most grateful to have with us today the next two sharer. I think the morning session, finding multiple silver linings out of the cloud, by Brother David Liu. Actually, it's from Brother David Liu talk in February, connected well with the next topic that we will hear from Brother Pablo and Sister Lee San from US. Just now we heard from many brothers and sisters about this US story. And Sister Susan also. Surfing in the chaotic world of, surfing in the chaotic world with Dharma. Okay, we look forward to hear from our wonderful and most diligent exemplary role models, Brother Paru and Sister Lisa. Okay, over to you, Brother and Sister.
Thank you, Sister Su Ching, Xiao Ching, Master and Dharma Master and everyone. Good morning, good afternoon over here. Actually, evenings in US. Okay, just now I heard about talking about US. Then let's come back to the world of chaotic. Okay, regardless you are in US or Malaysia, we are in a chaotic world. So the only medicines that can solve this problem is still through the Dharma. That's why we are sharing actually in Chiji how we cope with this Dharma, and actually how we serve, right? I use serving over here. Serving is not quite common in Malaysia. I grew up in Penang. This son grew up in KL. We never served before. But in US,
until now we're still not serving.
but it is kind of dangerous. Spot in US is very famous and dangerous spot in US. Our kid is going to try out when they grow up, but I just use the word serving because it's very common in US, especially Hawaii or Hawaii Five-0, right? That's what our drama series we watched during our as a kids. I think I still remember. So, and in the Bay Area, California, right? So serving is very dangerous, but if you have strength, you practice, actually you can serve against the wave, right? That's a beautiful picture about this serving activity. So the same analogy will apply to our life, right? Our life right now actually is chaotic. Right? So chaotic, it means we have two major issues right now. Dharma, a master regularly talk about this one. So let me, sure, that's not okay. And I move it to the south. Okay. So what's happening, right, is even in US right now, we're kind of gradually opened, but it's the COVID still orange color, same as Malaysia, right? And you can still see some country in Europe is actually even worse, but they already really opened, right? So this is how the way two different region of the world treating this COVID-19. Right? So it depends on what's the culture of that country treating the problems. And I think in Malaysia, I watched the number every day because my parents is still in Penang, and my parent-in-law still in KL. So we are kind of also pay some attention in Malaysia, but fortunately it's coming down. Right? There's a good news, and in 1st of May, I think tomorrow, 1st of May, it totally opens. So it's good. It's a good news. But the other bad news is the war, 5 million refugee. So we don't know how to help. Always see the news, CNN, any New York Times, they're always talking about this war, how the 40 countries against the Russians, how this so many things happening. So and Master always teach us our views, our eyes should open up as a world, not only narrow in one country, right? So this is how we learn, not in the very divisive opinions, but how as a Dharma practitioners, as a Chiji persons, how we see this world. It is very important. That's why today's title is that how we serve this world with Dharma. So, and next one was not moving. Okay, so today I'm so honored to invite Sister Lee San. she is not only working as a high-tech company, but she also a therapist. She has a master in clinical psychology. So I think this research article is really benefit for us to know that. Yeah, Sister Lee San, you want to share? Yeah.
Dear brothers and sisters, when Brother Peter mentioned about like surfing through the chaotic world today, it actually made me think of like, how we actually navigate, because when you imagine the current of the wave, it's like hitting everywhere, every direction. But if you actually find a way and how to coexist with the wave energy, you can actually leverage the energy and actually move along, like traverse through your path in your life. So this slide, this particular article that Brother Peter brought up is about helping others. So according to a lot of research, either from scientific perspective or medical perspective or psychology perspective, the researchers found that all the participants in the research who help others more often, whether it's through like formal volunteering or just providing informal type of assistance, they actually reported higher positive emotions. That means lower negative emotions and more satisfactions with the relationship. So, since COVID started, our beloved master always mentioned that the best medicine is actually to become vegetarian. We should stop harming the animals on the earth. We should coexist with them. So to me, that's the best medicine. And actually, we should congratulate our own selves, because all of us, very luckily, we met Master Cheng Yen, and we are now in the path of Bodhisattva, joining Master in helping other people in volunteering. So actually, we are giving ourselves the second best medicine, which seal us, because according to this research, is very obvious, because we are in the path of, or we are involving in activities that are helping others, is actually triggering a lot of positive emotions in us. So that is a way that actually a second medicine, because the greater positive emotion, the happier we are in our day-to-day life, especially living in this chaotic world today. So now let's move on to the, not only the other, the research that we just seen, this is another paper. It talked about pro-social behavior. So pro-social behavior means, you are actually leaning towards wanting to socialize, wanting to involve more especially during the time of crisis or during natural disasters. They did similar research, and they find that the more we are engaging in one or more pro-social behavior activities, like for example donating money, sharing food, helping other, especially like during COVID pandemic, we reach out to all these, providing all the protective gears to the medical arena, all the different organizations or even hospitals, clinics. It actually decreases the impact of negative emotions, such as pessimism. So it's very obvious a person's well-being is actually, from psychological perspective, helping others is actually helping us to boost our immune system. That's why, that's the second best medicine that I would like to refer to.
Yeah. So, Sister Lisan is coming from the scientifics, right? There's a recent research during COVID. But our master also give the same teaching. So we try to match how sometimes too much Dharma. We think that this Dharma is too generic, no one cares about the Dharma itself. But the Dharma is how the master seeing the thing in very simple and the most ultimate truth ways. So most as our ordinary people, maybe too much is like overflow and you will not pay attention, right? So in just 2 months ago, master teaching with US team, right? So at the time we are in the peak of the Omicrons, the most highest infections for last 2 years. So master provide us some guidelines, right? So she actually lay out a path of the Tzu Chi way. It means that it is a very good way that when during the training as a training volunteer, right? So how Tzu Chi will benefit me, right? So we always think that Tzu Chi is just some spare time to do something good, right? That's always US people treat volunteering, right? I have a spare time, I go out and do something good. It's a culture. It's a US culture, volunteering. So especially when a high school student, when they need to apply in the college, the community volunteering is the most important part. It's not academic, right? So, okay, yeah, when we know that the whole country itself, volunteering community service is very matured, right? So that's how Tzu Chi emerged so good into the US NGO. We recognized by Red Cross, Salvation Army, FEMA, right? And that's the first Dharma comes, right? 见苦知福, right? When you see the suffering, you know, I'm so blessed. And just now, I think I heard so many sister and brother share this one. And because coming in, there's a Bodhisattva, Dharma coming in, 众生得救, because the sentient beings as relief, got relief. And as a Bodhisattva, we feel we are so peaceful because the sentient being has been relieved. These two words is the most important why those samsara world need Bodhisattva. Why this Bodhisattva is so important in Buddhism? Bodhisattva arise because of the sentient being. Don't forget that. If we have a peaceful world, if the 净土 itself, actually there's no Bodhisattva. 菩萨所缘，缘苦众生. That's the most true sentence that coming from the Bodhisattva. Bodhisattva it actually arise because of the suffering of the sentient being. right? So from the NGO, we now enter to the Bodhisattva. And because we complete this rescue or relief, now we feel so bliss and tranquility. This is the ultimate benefit when you learn Buddhism. As you know, we have so many branches of the Buddhism. One is from Tibet, and most of the in Asia country we learn from the from Thailand, right? So we are talking more on the medications, right? Not a lot of people know how to achieve the same bliss and tranquility, yeah, through Bodhisattva way, because the social pro-social life, we're kind of afraid those pro-social life because it can trigger a lot of things. We want meditations, right? Inside one very calm inside your house. So Bodhisattva way is a very difficult way. It's like the wave, the surfing in the wave, right? So no one has a path, have a good path to tell us what is the step by step to reach out the bliss and the tranquility during the Bodhisattva way. And Lisa, Sister Lisa, you want to share about this one? Yeah, right. In the yeah, correct. Yeah, the next one. Yeah.
Okay, so let's talk about a recent visit of ours to San Francisco Chinatown. So very grateful to have the opportunity of the person in charge in City San Francisco, Sister Lulu. She actually walked us the path that they walk during the pandemic period. Okay, so to us, San Francisco, if everyone know that San Francisco is the world famous tourism spot, everyone know it's beautiful. So everything looks so so good, like a dream city to live in, beautiful and lots of cultures and lots of food and so on and so forth. Especially Chinatown is also one of the tourism spot that every tourist will visit. But never did we know that, in this beautiful building, these are all preserved cultural building, from 100 plus years, right? More than 100 plus years. Never did we realize actually each of these rooms, small windows, are actually tiny room.
100 square feet. Yeah.
It's about 100 square feet, like 10 by 10 feet by 10 feet, 100 square feet, even smaller than 100 square feet. Some of them are just 80 square feet. But inside, you actually didn't realize that a family is living inside. So they are all coming from all the immigrant way back, like 100 years ago. They came here, and then generation after generation. Now a lot of the family who lives there are actually the old people, because the young people, they receive education, and then they move out, and then they go to college, and then they move to like other places, but their parents are still living in this house.
Some new immigrants.
And to us it's pretty shocking to find out that, wow, in such a big city, we didn't realize that, because I personally went to some of the Asia country, like for example, my first time I went to Hong Kong, I realized that Hong Kong also like very small. Their spatial, the space for a family residence is really small. But here I realized that, oh my, there are so many people who are just living in such a tiny space, and then they have shared bathrooms, they have shared kitchen. During pandemic, these older generation residents are actually had a lot of challenge, because we all gone through some sort of lockdown, or here we call it like shelter at home, right? So you can imagine, in such a space, just a square space, and you can see, bunker beds, and all the different electrics that you own, like the fridge and everything, is just in one small space and they have to stay there. Not to mention one day, and then it could be 2 months, 3 months, 4 months.
2 years.
And then for 2 years. And of course now towards now, US is getting better. We are kind of trying to live along with the COVID right now. However, these are the situations. So Sister Lulu actually brought us there to actually visit these places because during pandemic, they actually did a lot of things for these residents. Okay, I'm going to stay put for a hold there. We're going to come back what they actually did. So now let me first share the stories. So this lady in yellow shirts, we're going to see a video clips of her shortly. She's the owner for a bakery. So during that visit last month, Sister Lulu also brought us to her bakery. So she was kind enough to spend some time and talk to us, and then sharing her stories. She is now a Siew Ching member and also a supporter. She gone through her tough shift during the pandemic. I'm going to tell her story shortly, but what her sharing here actually touched me because she sounds like she was in the really bad downstream of her life, struggling. But because she encountered Siew Ching, and now she's up again, standing tall there, because she felt that seeing us give her a lot of inspiration about the meaning of life. So that's why she actually very hard, although the struggles was very hard, but she actually strived through, served through her challenge, and now she's able to kind of stand up again. So that's her story. So what is that actually happened? So let's move on. So these are some pictures. If you look at in February 2021, it's like a ghost town during pandemic. Everyone is actually locked down, sheltered at home. You can see nobody on the street. And then in February 2022, which is the month that we actually went, you can see although people are still wearing masks, but very happily they're all coming back again. I think this is during the Chinese New Year.
Yeah, right.
So last month visit was actually in March, but before that, Brother PJ and I, we actually went there during Chinese New Year because we heard that a lot of shop lots, they were severely affected by the pandemic, the economy and also various factors. So it was a ghost town. So now it's a revamp again, restarting again. So that's why we went there. We wanted to kind of support. So that's why we see the scenes during February 2022. Now, let's take a look at this video clip. So this is not this interview is not done by Siew Ching. It's actually from KTSF 26. It's one of the local, very famous Chinese radio TV stations. They actually interview her, and then because it's in Chinese, so the entire clip is in Chinese. But I would like to invite all of you to pay attention, and you may not understand what she's talking about, but I'm going to translate after that because I think I would like you to feel her emotions as she recall her experience. Yeah.
去年3月疫情爆发后，一夜之间全都变了。
我们生意就是由最高峰跌到只有1%的生意，我从来没有试过这么惨淡的。我试一天，我早上开门到下午，我只卖了10几个包，然后两杯咖啡。但是在这个过程中，真的挺辛苦的，因为你每一天开门你都没有生意，然后你看到的都是在疫情当中人与人之间的那种恐惧，那种惊慌。
尽管餐饮业是必要行业，仍然可以营业，但顾客不来，商家对于未来充满焦虑和未知。去年4月，他一度有过把店铺关门的念头。
每天的营业加起来，可能1个月只有几百块，但是我要交租金、水电费，还有租金，那个支出每个月都要差不多8、9千。那我收入只有几百块，真的很难熬。我真的有想把它关掉。
那时候很多人都不敢到华埠，尽管店里没什么生意，他还是硬着头皮天天到店里。而当时的一个契机让他改变了想法。
有一个团队我印象很打动我的，那就是慈济。慈济他们就是在这个疫情当中，他们无惧无畏的做一些素食的餐送给就是散房的老人家。我给他们那种勇敢，还有那种大爱感动。
于是张小燕决定向他们学习，刚好端午节临近，她特别做了素食的粽子送给这些慈济志工，传递爱心的同时，也改变了她在疫情中的决定。
这很意料，就是很 surprise 的一点就是，原来爱可以人与人之间可以互动，也可以人与人之间可以把它发光发热，它带给我正面的能量。他们回馈给我的也是给了很大的勇气给我。他们跟我说你的粽子很好吃，他说我在旧金山第一次吃到这么好的粽子。就是每个人跟我说了一句一句的加起来，就是对我很大的鼓励，很大的爱。
张小燕体会到了食物不单只可以暖胃，还可以暖人心。在疫情之中，人可以透过帮助别人来温暖地度过疫情。于是她决定不关店了。后来随着她重新调整经营策略，像是开发健康概念的产品，开始在网上宣传，又新增送货上门服务，加上还为华埠散房送餐。1年多来，总算熬过来，把生意撑了下去。张小燕说，要用自己的手艺继续传递温暖和传递爱。26台记者古林佳报道。
Yeah, this is an amazing interview because let me just relay what was mentioned in the interview. So now she is a Tzu Chi member, Xiao Yan. During the pandemic, you can imagine her business was really, really bad.
1%.
Only 1%. So 1% of the business she have never encountered before. Now daily, her income is only like a few $100s. But over, you can imagine she mentioned that every month she has to pay rent, pay electricity, and everything is the total is about $9,000 US. So with the math on it, you can imagine this totally not sustainable, So very tough. She almost thought of like closing down her bakery. However, one day she encountered a group she mentioned, and I bet everyone heard about that. She mentioned Tzu Chi. So she saw Tzu Chi volunteering, helping the older residents in the tiny room. They call it San Fang, in a tiny room. And then, as you know, pandemic is very scary, right? Because it's an unseen enemy. You do not know when is the virus, where it exists and everything. So the bravery of the Tzu Chi volunteers and the great love of Tzu Chi volunteers actually inspired her. She felt a very strong positive energy from them, that radiate toward her. And then also because actually behind the scene, Sister Lulu told us that, she saw them doing something. I'm going to hold 1 second. This is a mystery. I'm going to show you the video clip next. She saw them doing that thing, okay? And then she broke into tears and she actually stepped forward and gave a big hug to Sister Lulu. Like a stranger, but she just stepped forward and hugged her, as if she has so much suffering that, already kept inside her, that all of a sudden that she broke into tears and it all released. So Sister Lulu, they all of course comfort her, and then they start trying to help her. So that's why she started making the vegetarian dumpling, the 粽子, not the dumpling, it's like the rice dumpling, the vegetarian rice dumpling, and of course, Tzu Chi volunteers, all give her feedback is the best vegetarian rice dumpling that they ever have eaten before in San Francisco. And then those encouragement made her stand up again. And she realized that, especially during pandemic, because of anxiety and fear, we actually getting human and human interaction getting farther and farther apart, because we 6 feet apart is a minimum requirement, but those are physical distance. But you can tell we all gone through this. It's been 2 years plus. The heart-to-heart relationship is also being torn apart. We are getting like farther and farther apart. The kind of coldness between human and human interaction actually quietly arises around us. That's how she felt, because there's no customer coming to her stores, because some of the restaurants still open because they have takeout, they have online ordering and so on and so forth. But you heard from her just now that she couldn't survive. It's only a few $100 in a day. No one come. It's only 1% of her business. So that's why. But in the contrary, because she met Tzu Chi volunteers, she saw what they did. She saw how they actually conquer that fear and step out. And they're bringing food, 便当 or bento box, right? They are bringing food to all the old people in those tiny rooms. It's actually blocks by blocks of building. It's not easy. It's not like elevator, you push a button, you can go up. No, it's actually, it's all staircase. You have to go up and down, and knock on every room, from building to building. That inspired her. That totally changed what she thought about human and human relationship. She realized that love is what connect each other. So that's why she decided to stand up again. And she started also making a lot of vegetarian food. And of course, Tzu Chi volunteer wants to support her. They actually order from her for different activity, all the vegetarian options, and she, in return, she actually gives discounts. Not like, oh, I'm in a bad business right now, I'm going to charge you more. No, but instead, she actually dedicated a portion of her earnings and back to the pool of love, like helping other people. So it's a cycle of love. So this is a really inspiring and great stories. So now, what is the thing? I'm going to show you. So this is a very
short.
Yeah, Brother Vijay, you can talk about this.
Yeah, this is very short clip, just a few seconds, but this is the most touchable moment. Is how the brave of Tzu Chi people, Bodhisattva, just walk through, pull that small trolley across Chinatown. When everyone is just afraid to go there, it's a ghost town. But we really did that. But so miracle, the owner saw it, right? So that's it. You know what's inside this box? Have you seen in the movie, like San Francisco is kind of like up and down? It's like here, right? The city built in the here. So when you saw they're down here, actually there's up here. So they need to pull the trolley. And do you know what inside the box? This is a 香鸡饭 and 香鸡面 from our Jingse master. So we are so grateful. At the time, we do not have anything to give, especially the food. And Dharma master, Jingse master provide us like this, like tons of the Jingse mian and Jingse fan, so that we can give to all the people that are suffering. So I really, every time I saw this scene, my heart would go back to the Jingse, because of the Jingse support the whole world itself. Then you can imagine how master and our Jingse master is putting so many hard work to build this, to fabricate this Jingse fan and Jingse. Yeah. So that's a moment that how touched the owner. And it turned all the crisis, chaotic inside their hearts or the economy itself, and start to helping others. The energy is turning, right? Yeah, I think this is the most important for today's sharing. That how we serve in the chaotic world actually is coming from your from your mind. And who is trigger your mind? Actually from your surrounding people, especially for those that Tzu Chi Bodhisattva or someone is fine, your friend, just a small things that helping others, and actually you can inspire a lot of people, right?
Yeah. Like the video clips, just to add a little bit, like the video clip may be short, but if you, like Brother PJ mentioned, if you see from all the Hollywood movies, right? So San Francisco is very uphill, and then they have to push this trolley and then make a turn, go to another part of the world, and then it may be uphill. They're just pushing it, and then
and it's not only putting on the street. They need to. There's no lift over there.
Yeah. See, look at this.
This is how we went
corridor.
into the.
Like each one of this is actually a room.
Tiny, right?
So this is each one of the room. So you can see, like, this little kid, she's doing her homework, or maybe attending online class here, and then the grandma is actually sleeping on the top of the bunk bed, and mom and child sitting at the below, and dad sleep on the floor. So that's it. The space is like that. So they have some cabinets. Maybe there's a window up here, and this is a door going out, and then there's a shared bathroom and a shared kitchen where they cook.
Yeah. So the owner, that's why when we meet her, and she said to us, right, actually tear down. Actually, when we try to share the story, she said that no one is helping except Tzu Chi. I see this group of people. Why can I survive? Why can I stand up again and help others? I think that's a critical moment. The bliss and the joyful actually is not for ourselves. Actually, these kind of actions not only help us to serve this chaotic world, but actually you can inspire others to stand up as well. So what do you see? So as a summary, what do you see? Do you see the Dharma? Do you see that? This is a story, right? This is maybe, as you said, this may be a normal in Malaysia or others country. We do almost the same thing. During pandemic, we go out, not stay at home. We just go out and help others. But there's some Dharma over here. Though this Dharma actually is very important to serve us. We are going to see more and more suffering in this samsara world. Yeah, it really, we need to get ourselves ready. So the Dharma itself actually is from when we see others suffering, actually first thing reflect back is we are so blessed. And then we enter to the Bodhisattva world to see people. When sentient beings got relief, actually Bodhisattva will feel so calm. All the depressed, all the sadness will immediately gradually setting down, decreased, right? Because we complete this is the most important thing. And the comeback, actually, there's most for everyone is a bliss and tranquility. I think this is the way the Dharma guide us. If you follow thoroughly, right? If you follow the path of how the Shanglens pave it, then you eventually you will receive the bliss and the tranquility itself. So I think there's a Dharma that today we want to deliver through the story of one of owner. When we heard about the story, we are so touched, so proud of ourselves as not only we living in US, right? We think that people think that it's the best country, but there's so many suffering area that the people miss that. And we are so proud of ourselves as a Tzu Chi walk on this path. Yeah.
And also just to add on, as we all know now, with the war in Ukraine, there are a lot of refugees. They are actually, trying to escape their home and then going to everywhere. So I remember last week we just gathered together and celebrated our Tzu Chi 56th anniversary as well as Master's birthday. But I remember one thing, Master didn't feel that it's the moment for a celebration for her birthday, but instead her heart is connected with all the suffering beings, especially the refugees in Ukraine. Because she even recalled how when she was a little girl, back then, she also gone through that war trauma, heard about the siren, she have to run through, hide under the tunnel, so her heart is actually connected with the suffering beings. So for us, we are very lucky to get to learn about Dharma, to get to practice Dharma and follow Tzu Chi Bodhisattva path, because what it really tells us that we are not separated. We are not like a lone individual that I feel bliss, blessed, or even tranquil alone is enough. We are all connected because we are all living in the same world. Even though I do not know you, we don't have any blood connection, but somehow we are part of the world, like a world family member. So that's why Dharma enable us to step into another deeper place to look at things differently. It changes our horizon, it changes our perspective, in which it gives us the realization that we are not alone. Seeing other people's sufferings make us realize of our blessing, and then but not just realize, but we can do something. We can turn that realization into an action. Yeah.
Yeah. During the pandemic, we watch a lot of Netflix. I think everyone does. But we like to watch the based on real life movie series. Right? So and this movie is I think is the best so far. Same kind of difference as me. Yeah, it's kind of very good. What does it mean? So actually, it's talking about homeless. In US, the most important problem is homeless. So we have a NGO also helping homeless. There's some touching story. That's why they make it a movie. So there's a good conversation. I will paste it one by one. So everybody passing him by, try not to look at him. Him is these homeless people. I think it's on the street. When someone's like homeless, sit on the wheelchair, they try to avoid not going. Say, try not to look at him. That's a normal way of people look at those underserved people right now, right? So that when you give a homeless man a plate of food or dollars, what do you think you are doing? It's a very good question. Even not even giving a dollar, right? But it's good. Normally, as a Tzu Chi member, right, we at least we will give something. Right? I do not know. Helping. It means that this gentleman is coming from one of the church. So he replied, "I do not know. Helping? No." The homeless people say, "A plate of food don't change nothing." Yeah. He still be homeless. Yeah, it's a big problem as a society. So what actually helping? Do you know? All you are doing is saying, I think that's the most important. I actually putting in the Mandarin is you are not invisible. I see you. That's the most straightforward word, English straightforward. I like so much. In order to put into the Mandarin word, 菩萨所言远古众生. I like this word better because it's so simple and straightforward. Deep into our heart. You are not invisible. I see you. I not ignore you. I'm not passing you. I see you. Right? So there's a moment that this homeless person replied to these church people. That's what straightforward. He is a Bodhisattva. This homeless person this is a true story. You are not invisible. I see you. So when you hear about this sentence, what is your state of mind right now? Are you still ordinary people that struggling in your daily life, like try to make trouble, although we are so blessed, or you already start jumping, like quick jump to the Bodhisattva state of mind, that all the daily small problem will go away, right? You start feel the bliss, you start feel the good energy, overcome all your depressions. Would that be? Yes, maybe, right? So and this is a true story. Eventually, these two persons start a NGO and build a huge building foundations facility for the homeless. Yeah, this is how small things can cause a big impact. So seeing others, helping others is a key to the ultimate happiness, so that we can serve this chaotic way, 永恒的快乐, right? And this is how Master put it. 尽苦之福，众生得救，菩萨心安，完成好事。Finally, 法喜自在. So that's the most important. I can see that when anything that you try to do or involve in 持戒, please keep in mind, this will be your path, right? Maybe you're still in the 见苦知福 stage, but eventually you can feel the joyful when sentient being got relief. If you're not feeling that, it's fine. Take time, right? And then you start to go into the Bodhisattva mind, that you will do it more frequently. After you do it more frequently, 1 year, 2 years, 10 years, 20 years, yeah, you should feel the fasi, the joyful of the Dharma, and you feel the tranquility inside your heart. Yeah, that's the ultimate 自救, 自度度人, 自救救他. So that's the Dharma that we would like to share today. And any addings, Sister Lisa? So the problem is how we maintain it. Yeah, just now I mentioned, right? Probably you need take time to practice. So there's a 10 words, 法界, 十法界. I got it from the Google picture, Google search. Very good. I like it. You know, 十法界嘛. So every day we are just jumping around this mind state. Physical, maybe that's true, the real, but we do not know. We are not seeing that yet. But inside our mind state, we actually already live in it. Hell, hunger, animality, animal, like crazy, anger, animal, anger, humanity. Right now, heavens, if you do more good deed, you will go 人天, and 声闻, you hear more Dharma, you will become a hero. And realizations, like you isolate yourself in the nature, then you start to realize the true nature, the physics of the nature world. And then you start go into the Bodhisattva. You merge this physical world and mind world together. You're no longer divide duality. The duality become oneness. Then this is how the Bodhisattva kick in. And then you practice more, you will attain Buddhahood. That's a very good way to put into the how important the Bodhisattva is. So which state of mind inside you right now in this chaotic world is your choice. It's your choice. But lucky that we have Dharma. We see so much, and we can involve. Immediately we can do some things, right? So we should feel so lucky and fortunate as walking the path of the Dharma. So use the resonance energy. Sometime after this sharing, we might feel so boot up. Hope that you boot up from our share, but you will lost tomorrow. It's okay. Me too. Us too, right? We are the ordinary people. We cannot maintain the good energy, but who will inspire us? Resonance. My PhD is in physics. So I like this physics way to resonance, right? You see one of YouTube picture, right? There's so many frequency resonate around. But when one frequency you go in and start triggering in. So all the trigger will become resonate into one same energy. This is the truth of the universe. So who is going to universe? What do you think? Who is in our surrounding that right now can resonate, can maintain our good energy? I think it should be master. So master, our beloved master, always guide us, regardless how suffering, how hardship she's still thinking of the sentient being, right? That's not thinking of ourselves. Probably the problem will arise because we think too much of ourselves, right? I think when we start to think others, think more on others, help others, at least think, so at least to keep you in a bodhisattva state. That's the question that you should ask yourself every day, every moment, right? If you miss it, it's fine. Try to come back again, right? So that's the last, the songs that, we have 3 minutes. Yeah, I would like Sister Lisan to, Sister Lisan also helped to, on this English translation. Actually, the original coming from Su Ching. I do not know who's translated this one. Thanks so much. And this is a song we write about the fireflies, right? The fireflies, a small light, right? The spiritual light actually can inspire a lot of people. And all the small flies come together, they can change the world. So it's lyric from Master Third Child. And I composed this song in just 10 minutes in Langkawi Island during the quarantine, because last December we went back to visit our family in KL and Penang. So, Lisan, you want to read through this
Sure.
beautiful lyric?
Sure. So, shining the right path with glimmers of spiritual light. So, the little firefly, shimmering its way alone to the hearts of all sentient beings. With its wisdom and compassion, it kindles the spiritual light within everyone, guides them on the right path, illuminating the world. With its vow, it inspires compassion within everyone and unite their great love to relieve the suffering of all sentient beings. The life-dragging firefly holds firm to its faith, unwaveringly leaves out its vow to spread true Dharma, in hopes to grow the wisdom life of all sentient beings. The fireflies, with the same spiritual resonance, flap their wings to join the procession. With a united heart, they radiate immeasurable spiritual lights, sustaining an everlasting luminance. The little firefly, belittle not its faintest glimmer, for this is the glimmer that breaks through the darkness of ignorance. So the little firefly, belittle not its faintest glimmer, for this is the glimmer that breaks through the darkness of ignorance.
Okay, thank you so much. That's all our sharing.
Wow, Brother Paulo, Sister Lisan, awesome sharing. Truly enjoy. I was thinking if Brother Paulo can sing it, maybe we wait for the English version. Brother Paulo and Sister Lisan will sing it to us in English. Wow. Okay, about the translation, I can't recall whether it's Sister Siew or Sister Hualien. I'm very grateful. Each time there is this Brother Paulo song, the sisters will automatically come forward and
very beautiful.
Yeah, thank you so much. Yeah,
It's
I got the version.
It's translated by Sister Hualien.
Okay.
Yeah.
So yeah, 感恩哦，是
Thank you. It helps a lot because when I got it, I adjusted a little bit, but majority of the work they did it.
Yeah.
感恩哦，这样我们 look forward to the English song, brother.
Be a
complete different way.
Very good, very touching. Today, I think we received very good feedback. Today's session, many finds it very. They like it. It's a bit like talk show. No, it's very smooth. It's very smooth, and then they have interaction. Very smooth talk show.
Really? We can make it.
we don't have. They don't even have to watch the video. Just while driving, listening to this, it's really very soothing. That's powerful. How powerful it is.
Thank you.
Brother Joe said too bad he can't make it because he has another session, but he really look forward to all the session. I trust Brother Joe hopes that Brother Bauru and Sister Lisa, now that Brother Bauru is the 副执行长 Assistant CEO of US chapter, we hope that they can come more often and share with us and guide us how US volunteers are doing the Bodhisattva path and inspire all of us. Very, very grateful indeed. We can hear so many tips are given. So happy for the cafe operator, the transformation. And the simple tips are given by our great exemplary Bodhisattva, how we can help others. 就是 Bodhisattva seeing the suffering in others. We also need to emerge and come to help others. Helping others the key to ultimate happiness. And many other wonderful stories. In fact, Sister Lisa also shared about the last week Master's birthday. Brother Bauru, they did a very good session, inviting many good, I think a lot of very good Bodhisattva from across the world, global, and including a book master to share on the interaction with Master and sending birthday wishes to Master. That is very good effort. Sister Lisa also reminded us that Master said that Master felt that we should not only celebrate but connect our hearts to the suffering beings, maintaining our good energy this morning.
Okay. Thank you. Actually, we should thank all of you for sending your positive energy because you all are very diligent. You all are our role models.
Correct.
Our US volunteers are really very humble. They are also Malaysians, so proud.
Hope to see you all in the next few months. I know that Malaysia is already fully open. We are so grateful.
True. It's open both sides. May all of us still stay safe. But we also hope that this virus will go away soon. Okay, let's take a group picture. I'm sure many are waiting for this moment. Please can on your video while we take a group photo. Sister YY can help us. Okay, while they're on this, very grateful to the earlier session and the team for bringing us a lot of joy today, bringing Master's teaching, how we can apply in our everyday life. Thank you, brothers and sisters who are supporting since very early, 5:20 in the morning until now. I think this is one of the earliest book study every Saturday. Could sustain this Dharma joy and take in another piece of Master and point of our life. Okay, picture taken now. Okay, maybe we invite to lead us in making 3 vows to Buddha and Master as we depart to apply all these wonderful teachings in our everyday life. Let us pay our respect to our teachers of life universal. Comes together. First vow. Second vow. Third vow. Okay. 感恩大家，祝福大家。
Thank you so much.
Bye.
Hope to hear more.
And Brother PJ.
Irene.
And all the brothers.
Sharon.
Hello.
Bye. Joshua.
Bye, everybody. Have a great weekend.
Stay safe, everyone.